Okay, good day everyone. Welcome to Simplify or STEM tutorial. Today we are going to solve question on calculus, and I want you to pay attention to this. Thank you very much. It says if y equals to bracket 2x plus what? 1 raised to the power of 2. Find the y over the x. This question is what? From what? Differentiation, because we are looking for what? The y over the x, that is the derivative of the function. So it's from differentiation. And this kind of question is called what? We use chain rule to solve this kind of question. When we look at a function that is raised to another power, we apply what is called chain rule. So let's look at how to solve this guy. Solution, you know that we are given that y equals to what? Bracket 2x plus 1, right? This is the power of 2. Now, for us to find the y over the x, of this function, let's look at it. Now, we apply what they call chain rule. And in chain rule is given as, the formula of chain rule is given as what? The y over the x equals to what? Du over the x times dy over what? Du. This is the formula for what? Chain rule. And we use chain rule when a function is in bracket and is raised to another word, is raised to a power. That is when we apply what? Chain rule. So let's look at how to solve this guy. Now from this question they gave us, say y equals to what? 2x plus 1, this power of what? 2. Now assume that, so let's know that from this question y equals to what? 2x plus 1 is power of 2. Say let the entire function in this bracket be what? Let u be equal to the entire function which is in the bracket 2x what? Plus 1. We say that this function in this bracket will be what? U. So it implies that our y is equal to what? U raised to the power of what? Square. Because now we assume that all this function in this bracket is what? U. Now let's find the u dx. Let's find what? The u or the x. You know that our u is what? 2x plus 1, right? So for us to find the u over the u dx, that we are deriving the function u with respect to x. So our du over the x is equal to what? If you derive this guy, this is just an invisible one. 1 times this guy is going to give us what? 1 times 2x is going to give us what? 2x, right? And since it's just an invisible one, right? We subtract 1 from the power based on what? Power rule that I told us in our previous video. Now, we have already divided this guy. Let's look at how to divide this guy. This is a constant. When we derive a constant, it's going to give us what? 0. Because this constant does not have attached with what? A variable. That's why it's giving us what? 0. So therefore, our du dx is equal to what? 1 times 2 is going to give us what? 2, right? And this x, right? X to the power of 1 minus 1 is what? X to the power of what? 0, right? But based on law of indices, anything raised to the power of 0 is what? 1. So I look at that what? 2 times what? 1, which implies that our du dx is equal to what? 2. Now we are getting our du over the x. Now let's find our dy du. Our dy du, now we are going to derive this guy. Our dy du, which is this guy. Dy du. We are differentiating y with respect to u. That is what we mean by what? Dy du. So we are going to have, if we divide this guy, the power is going to multiply the entire function. So we are going to have 2 times u raised to the power of what? 2, right? Then we subtract 1 from the power minus 1. So our dy du is equal to what? 2 minus 1 is what? Send it as what? 1, right? So we are going to have our dy du is equal to what? 2u. Now we are getting the parameter, we are getting the u ds, which is 2. And we are getting the y du, which is this guy, right? So therefore, from chain rule, When applying the formula for chain rule, the y dx equals to what? The u dx times the y du. So we're going to have our dy dx equals to what? Du dx times dy du. And we know that this implies that we know that our du dx is what? Well, the u dx is what? Is 2. So this is going to be what? 2 times our dy du is what? 2u. 2u, right? Now let's look at having our dy dx equals to what? 2 times 2u is going to give us what? 4u. But you know that initially our u was what? Our u was what? Our u was the value we have in the entire function, which is what? 2x plus 1. This was our u. So therefore, imply that our dy dx equals to what? 4 times, you replace this guy in place of our u, which is 2x, this is x rather. Pay attention. This is what? X plus what? Plus 1. And this is our final answer. You can see expand it. And this is our final answer. If you expand it, they are the same thing, but this is also good. This is our final answer. Thank you. Okay, now let's look at how to use first principle and solve this kind of question. Now they say that if y equals to x plus 5, right? We should use first principle and find the y over the x. First principle is very vital in calculus, so you need to pay attention to this. When solving using first principle, you need to understand that our dy over the x is given by what? The limit of f of what? X plus the x minus f of x all over what? The x as x tends to what? As the x tends to what? 0. Now, let's look at how to solve this question. Now, solution. You know that y is equal to what? For the question, say y equals to what? X plus what? 5, right? Y equals to x plus 5. Now, by first principle, they let us know that if y changes, therefore x will also what? Change. If there is change in y, there will also be change in what? X. So let's say that y plus what? The x, the y rather. The y means what? Change in y. If there is change in y, there will also be what? On the right hand side, there will also be a change in what? X. So we're going to have x plus what? The x. That is change in what? X plus this 5. I hope you understand. I'm trying to prove it using this word formula. If there is change in y, that is mean what? Dy. There will also be what? Change in x. Because of what? This equality. Because when we see equality, it tells us that what we did we do it on the left hand side, we also do it on the right hand side. That means if there is change in y on the left hand side, there will also be change in x on the right hand side. Now we are done with this now. That's good. Now let's move on. Now I'm saying that our dy, we try to make dy the subject at this point. If we make dy the subject, you know that this y now will come to the right hand side. So we are going to have bracket x plus the x, right? Plus 5. When this y change to the right hand side, we will have what? Minus y. I hope you understand. That's good. We are having minus y here. Now our dy becomes equal to what? X plus what? The x plus 5. Now you know that y initially was what? Initially y was what? X plus 5. I hope you understand. That's good. So y was what? X plus 5. So we are replacing this x plus 5 in place of this y here. So we are going to have bracket x plus what? 5. And at this point in time, when you are replacing this value in place of y, always take note of this. Put them in a bracket so that this minus will affect this thing. I hope you are following. Now we are having what? Our dy equals to what? X plus what? The x, right? Plus what? 5. When we try to expand the bracket, plus 5 minus times this guy is going to affect it. It's going to be what? Minus x, right? Minus times plus is going to give us what? Minus. So we are having minus 5. Now we are having what? You know that this minus 5, right? Minus 5 plus minus 5 is going to cancel out, right? This guy cancel out. This guy cancel out, right? And we are going to have this guy minus cancel this guy out. I hope you understand. Okay, that's good. So we're going to have this is going to become what? Our divide is going to give us what? The x. Our divide is going to give us what? The x. Now by the formula, you know that we divide it by what? Divide by the x. So we divide both sides now by what? The x. So if you divide both sides by the x, divide by the x, divide by what? The x, right? That's good. When we divide it by the x, to make it be in the form of what? A limit. Know that the x can cancel the x out, right? So this guy cancel this guy out. We are going to left with what? Our capital divide the x is equal to what? 1, right? I hope you are seeing it. That's our capital divide over the x equals to what? 1. Now as what? The x tend to what? As the limit of, now let's take the limit. As the limit of what? The limit of capital divide the x. As the x tend to what? Tend to 0. As the x tend to 0, sorry. As the x tend to 0, we're going to have what? You see half 1 here, right? As the x tend to 0, our capital divide the x is becoming what? Our capital divide over the x is becoming what? Small divide over what? The x, which is equal to what? 1. And this is our final answer. This is how to solve a question using what? First principle. Now let's look at the second example. They say if y equals to what? 2x. If y equals to 2x plus what? If y equals to what? 2x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 1. Find divide over the x using what? Using first principle. Using first principle. They say you should find what? Divide over the x using what? First principle. If y equals to what? 2x squared plus 5x plus 1, find divide over the x using first principle. Now, once we want to find divide over the x using first principle, we need to understand how it works. Let us go straight to the point. Solution. This is y, right? What we are doing, y equals to what? 2x squared plus 5x plus 1. 2x squared plus 5x plus 1. Now, by using first principle, if y changes, that means there will also be a change in what? X. So we call change in y as dy. So if y changes, that is dy plus dy, there will also be change in what? X. Which is going to have x now plus what? The x, change in x. You know that there was square on top of the x, I put this square here. Plus, you have 5 here, right? Change in this x. X plus what? The x. I hope you see it. Okay. Plus our 1. Now this is the first step. Now after doing this, now you need to expand this guy. You need to expand this guy. Also be able to expand it. You know how to use your binomial expansion, or you know how to use a Pascal triangle to expand a given function. But if you do not know how to expand it, there is no problem. You can get that data from me. Now recall that. Let's try to expand this guy so I think we just go straight to the point. You know that you have what? Bracket x plus the x. This is the power of 2, right? Once we expand this guy, we're going to have, if you expand this guy, let me just say x plus the x bracket what? X plus the x. Now this multiplied this, we're going to have what? S squared. This multiplied this, we're going to have what? x dx. This multiplied is going to have what? X dx. This multiplied is going to have what? The x square, right? So this is going to be what? X square plus this x dx plus x dx is going to give us what? 2x what? The x plus what? The x what? Square. So we already expand this guy. Now we are expanding this guy. Let's just put it into the function. So it implies that from here now, know that our y plus the x, sorry, the y rather is equal to what? We have 2 here. Now we already expand this x plus the x square by this. This is what we have. So I have 2 multiplied by what? X square plus 2x the x plus the x square, right? Which is this guy when we expand it. Then plus, you have what you have here is 5, right? 5 bracket x plus what? The x, this is plus the x bracket plus 1. Let's expand them more. You know they have our y equals to what? The y equals to 2 multiplied by x square is going to give us what? 2x square, right? 2 multiplied by 4x the x, I don't have what? Plus 4x the x, right? 2 multiplied by the x square, I don't have what? Plus 2 the x what? Square, right? That's nice. Then plus 5 multiplied by x is going to give us what? 5x. 5 multiplied by the x is going to have what? Plus 5 the x, right? Then plus this one. I hope you are following. Okay, that's nice. Now for this one now. You are seeing me, this is plus, so don't forget this is y plus y. Now let's move on. Let's make the y the subject. So when we make the y the subject, the y as the subject, although this y will go on the right hand side, and when y cross to the right hand side, it's going to be what? Negative y. So we're going to have, what do you have here? 2x squared. 2x squared plus what? Plus 4x dx plus 2 dx squared plus 5x plus 5 what? Dx, right? Plus 1. Then when this y cross here, it becomes what? When y cross the quantity sign here, it becomes what? Minus y. Don't forget. So that's here doing what? The y equals to what? 2x squared plus 4x dx plus 2 dx squared plus 5x plus 5 dx plus 1. Now you know that this is minus. Our y initially was what? Our y initially was what? 2x squared plus what? 5x, right? Plus 1. So you need to put it in the bracket so that when this guy will affect everything in the bracket, so it can be able to cancel out. Now, imply that our dy now becomes 2x squared plus 4x dx plus this x, the x plus what? 2 dx squared plus 5x plus what? 5 dx plus 1. Then minus times 2x squared will give us what? Minus 2x squared. Minus times minus 5x will give us what? Minus what? 5x. Minus times plus 1 will give us what? Minus 1. Now if you check there, something can cancel out. Minus 1 can cancel out what? Minus 1 can cancel out 1, right? Minus 5x can cancel out what? 5x here, this is x. Minus 5x can cancel out what? 5x. Minus 2x squared can cancel out what? Minus 2x squared. Look at minus 2x squared here. Can cancel out this 2x squared. Minus 2x squared can cancel out what? 2x squared. So we're going to left with what? our dy become what? 4x dx plus what? 2 dx what? Square plus 2 dx square. Now plus this guy 5 plus 5 what? Dx. At this point in time now, what we are going to do is to divide it by what? Divide both sides by what? Dx. So it can be in the form of dy over dx. So let's divide by dx. Divide both sides by dx. You know this is our capital dy over capital dx is equal to what? On our left and right hand side we have what? Let me just put all of them together. I have 4x dx, right? 4x dx plus what? 2 dx square. 2 dx square plus what? 5 dx plus 5 dx. I hope you are following. This is what? On the right hand side, then you divide by what? The x2. But what we did on the left hand side, we're also going to do it on the right hand side, right? Now at this point in time, you know that this the x right there also attached to each of these values. So we're going to have our dy over the x. After the dy dx is going to give us what? Just factor out the x from each of these guys. We're going to have the x outside bracket. If you remove the x from this guy here, we're going to have inside the bracket as what? 4x. I'll remove one of the x, right? That's good. Plus, if you remove the s here, this is 2 the s here. If you remove 1 the s, going to remain what? 1 the s. So we're going to have 2 the x plus, if you remove 1 the s from this 5 the s, it's going to give us what? It's going to remain what? 5. Because if you multiply the s times this guy, it's going to give us this guy, 4 the x. If you multiply the s times this guy, it's going to give us 2 the s square. If you multiply the s times this guy, it's going to give us what? 5 the x. We're just factoring it out for simple factorization. Then we have what here? The x, right? Now at this point in time, you know that this the s can cancel this guy. That's nice. Now if this s cancel this guy, our capital dy over the x is going to give us what? 4x plus what? 2 dx plus 5. Now let's take the limit as capital X tends to 0. Now the limit of capital dy dx as capital X tends to 0 is equal to what? Now at this side, we're going to also have the limit of this entire function, which is 4x plus 2 dx plus 5 as capital dx tends to 0. Please pay attention to this point. This is the vital point you need to know. Now this is capital dy dx. It's not the kind they say we should find. It's the one they ask us to find is small dy dx, which is the rate of change. So this guy is different. This is the gradient. Now for us to be able to get this guy, this is the rate of change. For us to get the gradient, which is small dy dx, when the capital dx tends to 0, it's going to affect it to the smaller one, which is the gradient. We're going to have dy over dx equals to, now anywhere we see the s in this place in the right hand side, we put what? 0, because it says the s tends to 0. We're going to have, there is no the s in this line, so we're having 4x. This becomes what? 4x plus what? Plus 2. No, there is the s here, so we substitute what? 0. Bracket 0. Then plus what? 5. Therefore, our dy over dx equals to what? 4x. 2 times 0 is what? 0 already, and this is that's gone. Plus what? 5. Plus what? 5. And this is our final answer. This question is a past question on campus. You need to pay attention to this solving. Practice them by yourself and get the best out of it. Thank you. Subscribe to this channel, like the video, share it with your colleagues, and also practice all the steps that is being demonstrated in this video. Thank you. I love you all.